Hi, everyone. Hello. This is my very first time going live on Instagram. I'm super excited. I'm so excited to even more excited to announce a very hi Leslie, and there she is. So we're going to try and go live on my end to talk about rooted in healing. We had some crazy difficulties on her end. Hopefully it's not for both of us. So let's send you an invite because that's our whole. Okay. Amazing. Yay!
He's good. I'm glad it works. I'm glad it works. Like, this is so weird.
Yay! We did it.
I felt so old.
You know
Yeah.
what? I have never gone live on Instagram and I was like, it can't be this complicated.
It's not. It's not.
What
It's,
is happening?
I don't know. It must be something with my phone. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm updated, but I'll check later.
That's
Hey.
okay.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
how is everyone? I'm so excited to be doing this. So I got off my phone, I got my laptop, and went back to my phone, back to my laptop, but we're here on my phone and it seems to be working great. So Leslie, I caught your introduction 5 times because we had to do starting with stopping.
Yeah.
But it was a beautiful introduction. We are here tonight to talk about the Rooted in Healing retreat. This retreat really it was supposed to be 3 days. It was going to be 3 or 4 days of a long weekend in person retreat. I had this awesome idea in the summer, and I was like, I'm going to throw a retreat in the fall. And in my head, it was the most amazing idea ever. But in reality, in an execution, it wasn't happening in like a 3 month time frame. So
Mhm.
I still really wanted to do it. So we had to think fast and
Mhm.
think. I thought a virtual retreat was our best bet. Um, to really be able to reach an even bigger crowd and reach more people, but
Mhm.
also to make it more financially affordable for a
Mhm.
lot of people to join, but also at least give them something without compromising the idea and the why behind creating this retreat. And the why is, um, I have a lot of whys of doing this. I have
Yeah.
lots of reasons. But I feel like when you want to offer something, a service to people, you don't have to have just one thing that you're settling on. There can be a million different reasons and they all work really well. So tonight we're talking about our why of doing this retreat and what we hope to come from it. And I hope really, really hope that we're able to offer this in person next year is what my big plans are. So I have an
Yes.
entire year to do it.
Mhm.
But our virtual retreat, we get to offer for men and women. And that's what I
Mhm.
love because you see so many of these wellness retreats really focusing on women.
Yeah.
And of course, we are important. I
Mhm.
love that we're able to offer something to us and really have this beautiful balance of fast masculine and feminine energy in one room with just women. But
Mhm.
but I feel like there's not enough retreats focusing on men's mental health and their spiritual
Mhm.
health and their emotional health because they kind of
Mhm.
get skated over sometimes, I feel
Yeah.
like, because it's like you can do it. You're a man. You're fine.
Yeah.
You don't need it. You're fine. Like, suck it
Mhm.
up, rub some dirt on it, and go on
Mhm.
about your day.
Yeah.
So I would love to know, Leslie, what
Mhm.
is one of your whys, or maybe five of your whys, or whatever you want to share?
Yeah, no, there's so much alignment, and just thank you, Kathy, for thinking of me. Like, we've been connected for a while, and it's really nice to have supportive people in your corner that like want you to be a part of their vision. Like, it's really nice. So part of one of my whys, we're talking about alignment, and I just shared this today on my Instagram about me just having my mental health journey because today is World Mental Health Day. So I felt called to share like why I'm so passionate about about mental health. Like, why am I always talking about it? So I shared that after having my daughter, I had suicidal thoughts. And what was really scary, like, you would think, okay, the suicidal thoughts are scary, but what really was like, oh, you need to wake up, is I had thoughts of wanting to harm her. And it was in that moment where I was like, I need help.
Mhm.
I'm also a registered nurse, right? And I say that because you would think like, oh, I'm a nurse, I should know. But we're actually one of the worst set of people when it comes to receiving help for ourselves.
Mhm.
So in my post, I just shared that. I shared how I had these thoughts, I sought out help. And so part of my why of being on this retreat with you is to help other women, like to show other women, like, hey, like you're not alone. Because I felt really alone as a mom, like
Mhm.
really alone. Like I was just like, I know so many moms, but I heard a lot of things like, it is what it is. Like you just have to accept it. Once they turn 18, then you can take care of yourself.
Yeah,
It's like, no, no, I am not doing that, you know?
that's
So
insane.
that's part of the reason I'm so happy to do this with you. And I love when you're like, can we offer it to men? Like, my friend here, this is my friend, saying that it's amazing with the balancing. Men tend to be forgotten, yet they also
Yeah.
need help. I was really happy that you did you thought to do that, to include them, because I also feel like in this time it's like we're women, we don't need men, you know. So they're probably like, okay, like they're just like, I'm gonna go hide. But we need both of those energies, and yes, both of the energies live in all of us, but it's important that they're on this as well, because there's single dads out
Yeah.
here too, like you shared with me. So
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. There's single dads out there. I was raised by a single dad, and that's why this was another thing that I wanted to make sure, because he is one of those men that's like, no, no, I'll be fine. I'll just put some duct tape on it and go. And he thinks he's fine, but you can see that they're not always fine. And, it's unfortunate. And I think it's great, one, that you shared your story and you're so vulnerable, because you're right. They think, or I say they, but like we and everyone around us thinks that, oh, you're a nurse, you know what to do, you're going to be fine. Or, on the other side, they can say, oh, this isn't your first rodeo. You've had children before, how it
that
goes,
no, oh gosh,
right?
sorry,
Like
but
it's
yeah.
like you know what to expect, but it's not the same with every kid. For one, your body changes so much, and especially if I had mine 10 years apart. But still, my second one was so much. He was a handful. He was rough. It was a rough one. And I love that you said you had all of, you have your friends, and you thought to go get help. You thought, I need to get help. And while I may not be able to relate with you on that level, when I was feeling, and I know I shared this like last year, we did a Facebook Live on
Yeah.
self-love, and we talked about, I was reaching out. I was a new mom again,
Mm-hmm.
so it was my second kid. I had done it before, but
Mm-hmm.
like we said, our bodies change. Kids are different.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I was struggling. I was really, really struggling. And I didn't know who else to turn to. So I did turn to a group of moms
Mm-hmm.
in my church at the time and said, look, I'm really struggling. I feel like I need a break. Like I
Yeah.
need to take some time off. And I thought I was going to get support. I thought I was going to get the whole, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, we got you.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be okay. And instead I got, shame on you. Like you're a
Mm-hmm.
mom. You chose to have a baby. You
Mm-hmm.
don't get to have a break. There is no such
Mm-hmm.
time as me time when you're a
Mm-hmm.
mom. And I was like, wow, I felt ashamed. And it was something I didn't talk about for years. And I
Mm-hmm.
kept it bottled up,
Mm-hmm.
and it just built and built until it exploded one day.
Mm-hmm.
Like what else is going to happen when you keep all that stuff bottled up? And it is scary, and it doesn't just happen
Mm-hmm.
to women, it is men too. And I
Mm-hmm.
really wanted to make sure we were able to offer that to men, to say, whether you're caring for, there's male caregivers out there
Yes.
caring for their parents, caring for
Mm-hmm.
a sick spouse,
Yep.
terminally ill spouse,
Mm-hmm.
children, single
Mm-hmm.
fathers. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not just women out there doing it alone, it is men. And I think because of that, be a man, or that masculinity, they get overlooked and they get forgotten about, I feel like sometimes. And and you're right, we are women, and we want to stand in our own power, and we want to say that we don't need them, and we
Yeah.
can do this, and blah blah blah. But I think they need us sometimes. I
Yeah.
think they need us to reach out and be like, it's okay. we
Yeah.
can do this together. We can help each other, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and there's people that I know that are popping in. Hi, Liv. Hi, Sarah. Thank you guys for watching. We're gonna, my friend, this is my friend Kathy. She created a retreat that's happening in a couple of weeks called Rooted in Healing. So we're just talking about our whys. The link is also in my bio as well as hers. If you would like to join and or if you want to share with your community, because a couple of these people on here are coaches as well.
Awesome.
So just wanted to put that commercial. So you know, like,
Yeah.
what are you guys talking about? We're just talking
Yeah.
about the upcoming retreat and our why, because the why is so important. Like, I know me and I know Kathy, we're very like service driven people. Like, we do this, hey, we do this because we're here to serve people like you that need that support. And I want to go back, something that came up when you decided, because Kathy send a message to me as well as to Morgan, one of the other facilitators for the retreat, like, hey, can we include men? And I was like, yes, like, please, because I'm also a nurse, like I mentioned. And through this pandemic, I'll, and the specialty I work with, which is with NICU babies, unfortunately, some of these moms pass away, like from
Mm.
they had COVID, they have the NICU baby, and then it's the dad, is the dad by
Mhm.
himself with this sick baby. And
Yeah.
like I read through these records and I'm like, where are they going for support? Like, we have, we have the church group, and maybe the church group did not treat us right, but we at least know, like, oh, I can go to this mom group and this mom this and this mom that. Like, we know of these options, but men don't know of these things.
Hmm.
So I'm really glad that you're opening this up to men. I'm so glad that it's virtual. And I also love that you're teaching people how to build routine, because
Yeah.
routine is where joy is created. Like,
Yeah.
so that's all I
Yeah.
wanted to say.
No, yeah, I think it's a great, virtual, in person, there's so much power in person. Obviously, you can feel the energy, you can feel the warmth of someone with you. But as a single parent, as a working caregiver, as a working parent, whether you're single or not, it's not always easy to just go away. Like, as much as it would be nice to just get up and go, it doesn't always work that way. So, especially since the holidays are coming and
Mm-hmm.
the weather change. So that's another thing I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to touch on too. Today is World Mental Health Day. Thank you for pointing that out, Leslie. But as we go into the winter, we also go into seasonal depression. So
Mm.
it really is this, especially for those of us that are not in Florida. I know you have like the sun all the
All the
time,
time. Yep.
but up here in the north, we don't get that. And you're from New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
seasonal depression is huge up here because the days are shorter, it's cloudy, the sun's not always hot, you don't get the sufficient amount of vitamin D. So um, I don't know what I was. Oh, the virtual. So the fact that we're talking about going into this a season of seasonal depression, the great thing about offering it virtual is not only do you not have to go anywhere, so that you can spend some time still not having to leave your life if you can't. I've been a caregiver. I was able to take care of my younger sister while she was on hospice in the last few years of her life, and I had children, and there's no way I would have been able to leave home. It's just not even a
Mm-hmm.
possibility. But
Mm-hmm.
it was imperative that I took time for myself that I did not take. And that's where that like spontaneous combustion came in at. And that
Mm-hmm.
was one of those other times that I reached out for support thinking that I was going to get it, and was like denied big
Mm-hmm.
time. So having this virtual retreat from the comfort of your home or your office or wherever you can escape, go to your car and just sit in silence. Like, if that's what it comes down to, like whatever you need to do, but you can also have this recorded and watch it over and over again. If in November we're not going to be doing it live, you feel like you need a break or you need a refresher or you
Mm-hmm.
need a reminder, then you can watch it again. And it's something you can carry with you. You can download it on your phone, listen to us talking, listen to the meditations. And it's something you can really carry, like take with you. So when you're feeling those moments of,
Mm-hmm.
um, where you're just feeling overwhelmed and stressed and just need that tiny break. So that's the beauty of having it virtual, is it really isn't, it's pocket care when you need it the most.
I love that. I haven't heard that word before.
I
Pocket
just
care.
made it up.
You better trademark that. Like, that's good. I love that. And I put, that's the dates, right? I put it in the comments. If you can pin it, I know this is Cathy's first IG live,
It
everybody.
is.
But if you hold it down, there's an option to pin. So if people keep commenting, mine will at least stay. So when people,
Oh,
yeah. Um, and then also before we like, we'll talk for a little bit more. But make sure when you X to share it. Don't trash the video. Like, so you can share it on your feed.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. Because this is good, good content to keep up
Yeah.
on your page. But yeah, what else was I gonna say? So yeah, it's October 25th to the 29th. And like I was saying, I love that Cathy is like, I'm gonna be doing, oh yeah, what am I gonna be doing on this retreat? So glad you asked. So I'm gonna be doing the morning like body scan meditation. I'm playing a sound bowl. I have them in the back, so hopefully we can they're back there. We'll figure that out. Because sound is healing and it helps facilitate the relaxation, especially like being home, or wherever you are, you're gonna need like that additional, like my words as well as the sound to help you really get into your body. And I love that we're doing, like, I'll be in the morning with you guys for those 5 days, and the morning is the best time to like start everything. Like, I know some people like to do things in the evening, but there's what comes up for me is like decision fatigue. So we have that
Yeah.
all day, decision fatigue, where it's like we have so many things coming at us. And so if you choose to do something at the end of the day for you, you're not going to want to do it. So I'll be, starting every morning with you all, just helping you start your day. And it's for 5 days. So you're going to be able to create some kind of routine. So it's not just us telling you like in a caption, like do this, like you're going to be with us live, and we're going to be doing it right with you. It's going to be very powerful. Like,
Mhm.
it's going to be really powerful.
Yeah, yeah. That's another beautiful thing. The way this virtual retreat kind of fell into place
Mm-hmm.
was in the most natural way, because it's like, okay, I know I'm going to commit to doing this. I don't know how to do it. I've never even been to a virtual retreat, let
Yeah.
alone hosted one. So we're just going to play it up. So another dear friend of mine that I really, and she's not free until the evenings when she has a little one at home. So
Yeah.
she's not on with us today, but Morgan is going to be doing the energy alignment guided journaling, and she's doing a 5-day boot camp for that, but she's only available in the evening. So I was like, well, son of a gun, how in the world do we get the three of us all together?
Yeah.
That makes sense. So what we're doing is as we're starting our day with Leslie and her beautiful face, and she's opening us up with her sound healing. She's going to do the meditation and yoga, restorative yoga,
Yep.
and
Yep.
we go into our lesson of the day. So Leslie gets us ready for the day. And like she said, there's so much power in starting your day with you. And I know it's hard and it's not always easy to do and it's not always possible, but that's okay. If you can do it one day,
Yeah.
2 days, even if you're not with us for the entire hour and a half that we've planned, and you can just do the yoga or just do the
Right.
meditation or just sit there and
Yes.
listen to us, but give yourself some time. There's so much power in that, because chances are of you thinking and having the energy to want to do something for you at the end of the day, when everyone is done yelling for you and needing you
Mm-hmm.
and pulling you, and all the shoes need to be found, meals need to be
Goddamn
cooked.
shoes. Sorry. I'm sorry for cursing with the
I
shoes.
played up one of your posts that you did the other.
I'm so tired of the shoes, Cathy. I'm tired of it.
I know. So anyway, at the end of the night, we're like, I just want to sit and I just want to stare at the TV. I want to stare at the wall. I just want to like mindlessly scroll.
Yeah.
Like we don't choose to do those things. We have to make ourselves. And
Mm-hmm.
the only time that it's easiest to do is first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
before all of those things start crumbling down. And that's my time too. I like to get up before my house, before the animals are awake and the children are awake and the husbands are awake and emails are going off and phones are ringing all of a sudden. And all of that stuff that's happening. And then we go into so Leslie kicks off the day in this most magical way. And then we're able to go into our lesson. So we're going to be diving deep into morning routines. And what does that look like for our life? Not for Instagram life, not for our best friend's life, but what does it mean for our life? And how do we really make something that's feasible for us? And we're talking about nutrition, and we're talking about movement, mindset, and reframing our thoughts. So that's all in the morning. It's such a big bang to get your day going. And then we're done for the morning. And then in the evening, we come back at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's when Morgan is able to join us. And she's doing that guided journaling. And then we're ending our evening together. And it may just be a 15-minute session where she does her part of the alignment. And then I guide us through guided meditation and breath work to really calm us, bring us down to ourselves, check in with ourselves, and really just kind of decompress for the day. So it's split up. So even if you can't make the morning session, but you want to give yourself that 15 minutes at the end of the day or vice versa, we've got you covered. So it's we're bookending your day as much as possible and trying to make it as immersive as possible without interrupting your life and the people that you care for.
That's beautiful. And I like that you said you're bookending our days. The bookends are so important. They hold everything together. And I also like, for this retreat, I also want to say is for somebody who's like, I know I need to start like taking care of myself, but I don't know how. Like, don't think, oh, I can't do this. Like, I've never meditated. I've never done yoga. Like, this is the retreat for you. I like to say, like, my style, and I know Cathy too, it's like we're here for the beginning, like give you that foundation. So don't be like, if you hear like energy and all, don't be like, oh God, what? No, like come, like you're good. And also what's beautiful with Cathy explaining the itinerary of the 5 days is if you're like, I'm not a morning person, because that's a lot of people like discredit that, like I can't do morning. Okay, well, meet us in the evening with Morgan. So you can find throughout Monday to Friday, like what works for you. Maybe you're like, you know what, evening doesn't work for me. I actually do like morning, or vice versa. So you have, by getting a ticket, you have the option of being like, okay, I'm going to try the morning one day, or I'm going to try, like you can try what works for you. So
yeah, and that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up, because even if you are, so like we're Eastern time, let's say someone in California is like, I'm not getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, because as soon as I get up, that means magically everyone in the house knows I'm awake and everyone wakes up. How many times has that happened?
Every time. I have to tiptoe in my house.
Yes.
The dog wakes up, then like the kids wake. It's just,
Like it's a sixth sense that they have. It's like, how do you even know? I haven't even barely gotten out of bed yet, and everyone's like, boing, like super ready to go. So let's say you're like, I'm not getting up at 6 o'clock, but maybe noontime when the house is sleeping, or maybe the kids are napping, you have a break at lunch, then you can catch up on what we did in the morning. And that, if that works for you, awesome. If 3 o'clock in the afternoon is your time that you get a break, or you get a moment to yourself, or you can do something, then do it then. It's recorded, it's sent out immediately, so you have it right there at your fingertips. There's really no excuse. And like Leslie said, we're not here to like twist you up like a pretzel. Like this isn't for advanced people. This is for people that are really in the real world, that are struggling, feeling overwhelmed, that have a lot on their plate, and they just don't know where to start and how to start getting ahead, and really honestly just prioritizing you.
And we don't get that.
We can't save the world if we're falling apart.
No, and that's something I will like, that is like a soapbox of mine I get so passionate about, because now that I'm a mom, I realize the importance. Like I have to give from like a cup of overflow. It can't even be like no, like my cup actually right now, I can't give from a cup like this. Like What? And a lot of us do. A lot of us
Mhm.
do. And lately I've been hearing the term like you want to give from a cup that's overflowing, like where I have to be like, oh God,
Yes.
because that's where one, you feel better of how you're giving, and you're the people around you, whomever you're caring for, because like Cathy was saying, this is open to anybody that's a caregiver, whatever that is, whomever you're
Yes.
caring for.
Yeah.
And Cathy's story, like Cathy's story is very inspiring, as she already shared earlier in this live. Like, she had to care for her sister who was in hospice. So she knows firsthand what it's like to be somebody that's caring for somebody that you love, your sister, while you are a mom and like
Hmm.
an employee and like a da da da,
Yes.
like it's like the list goes on. And me, I'm a mom, and I now understand. This is also something like I now understand what my I don't maybe understand my mom fully, but I now understand. Right, yeah, because like women, like we don't understand each other fully, but I now like I have a lot of empathy for my
Yeah.
mom. Like I get it. I'm like, oh, like honestly, my mom she was about the self-care life. And that was way back in the day. Like she was about making sure she was taken care of first. As a
Good for
kid, I
her.
didn't, yeah. And as a kid, I didn't understand that. I saw it in a different way.
Mm.
But now I understand. And like the vocabulary back then, it wasn't like as like we are right now. But now I'm like, okay, like what I learned from her is like, I'm going to explain to my children, which I've shared this with you. I show them, oh, I'm going to draw myself a bath.
Yes.
You can look and see like that I'm drawing this bath. And then I'm going to close the door. Obviously, I'm going to tell my husband, hey, watch the kids. I'm going to
Hmm.
close the door. I'm going to lock it so I have this alone time. But you know what I'm doing on the other side of the
Right.
door. Yes,
Yeah.
the fingers are through the cracks. They're like, mommy, but it is what it is.
Right.
But I like to share these stories because I feel like moms sometimes were like, but you don't get it, Leslie. And it's like I do. Like we and like me and Cathy's stories are different. You know what I mean? So like that's what's the beauty in it, because we have
Yeah.
differences, so we can attract different kind of people to this retreat.
Yeah.
So
And also let you know that it's not just one type of person or one story
yeah.
that fits in to self-care or prioritizing yourself. And that's something. I do grief and trauma recovery counseling, and that's the biggest thing that we kind of sulk into ourselves, almost like enfold into ourselves when we're dealing with something really heavy. And we don't start prioritizing our health as a caregiver. And like you said, whatever that means in the realm of that. So it's a parent, a spouse, whatever you are, like
Mm-hmm.
fill in the blank. This really is to engulf everyone, to make sure that you understand that you really do matter. Your cup
Mm-hmm.
needs to be full, because there's nothing you can do. You can't care for anyone. You can't care for yourself, let alone anyone else, without burning out and like exploding, which is
Yeah.
what happened in my story. Like I just lost it. But and that's why there's Snapped. Like that's why there's that hit show Snapped,
Oh yeah.
because we have to be able to learn, and that's not for all women, of course.
Right.
But we
Yeah.
do have to learn how we do have to be able to prioritize ourselves. And I love that you said you show your kids, and I think that's fabulous. My oldest son is 22, and we had that conversation, and I
Mm-hmm.
want them to know, as men going into the world, not just to
Mm-hmm.
create space for the women in your life or for the people in your life, but
Mm-hmm.
respect it, to know that when
Mm-hmm.
they say, and they may not always say, I need a break. It may not always come that way. It might come out with screaming at you. It might come out with losing your temper or being frustrated or,
Mm-hmm.
slamming pots and pans. Like it's
Yeah.
showing. And you're
Yeah.
like, okay, honey,
Mm-hmm.
why don't you just step back from the pots and pans? We can eat frozen pizza tonight. You obviously need a bath or you need
Yeah.
something. But
Yeah.
but noticing those things and having those open conversations to make sure that it's normal and it's not this taboo thing that it
Mm-hmm.
had to be, or and sometimes is in some
Mm-hmm.
circles.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're right. We have very different stories, but I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the beauty behind it, is having
Mm-hmm.
these different stories, because it shows you that there's just this wide range of people that really do fit in this circle of of caregivers and needing to take a break. And maybe you aren't caring for kids. Maybe you're
Right.
just barely keeping yourself above water. This
That's a
is for
good
you
point.
too. You
That's
need a break
good.
too.
Yeah, yeah, it's for not kids too. Like everybody's a caregiver to themselves. You know,
Mhm.
that's a
Yeah.
very good point because that's true. I feel like people that don't have kids like, well, this isn't for me. Like it's for
Yes.
you too. Like you need to take care of yourself for you, for your significant other, for so you can just be a better person in the world. Like
Yeah.
it's not just for the moms and the dads. It's not just for
Yeah.
the moms and the dads. So
Yeah, we
yeah.
need more better people in the world. That's for
Mhm.
sure. Yeah, absolutely. Because then what happens when we're like feeling drained and our cup is empty is we're not awesome people. Like I know I feel frustrated and I'm snippy and
Mhm.
I'm not my best person. Like I'm just not. I know that I'm not because that happens immediately when I get behind the wheel. Like a
Yeah.
whole different person
Mhm.
is born. But that's what happens when I'm even in my house or talking to someone on customer service or whatever it is that you're
Mhm.
doing. You're not your best self. And you look back when you're feeling better, when you're feeling refreshed, and like, wow, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
that today.
Yep. That's relatable. And that's also, we'll wrap up in a little bit. That's also something like you're gonna get tools because we're not here to say, oh, we're gonna like cure your problems. We're here to give you
Yeah.
tools. We're here to give you tools because things are still gonna happen. Life is going to always be life. And sometimes once you get the tools, life is gonna it's gonna be like, wait, what? Like even more so than you probably expected after you finish this retreat. But one thing's for certain, you're gonna have the tools and you're like, oh, you know what? I can do the journaling that Morgan suggested, or I can. Cathy mentioned something about I need to, focus on this type of eating habit. Or Leslie said I need to move my neck like this. Like it's those little things that
Yes.
really do help that you didn't know before the retreat. But after the
Yeah.
retreat, life is still gonna be life. We're not gonna say
Right.
life is not gonna. It's still gonna be life, but you're now gonna have the tools to be better with how to address the situation.
Yeah. Great way to put that. I love that. Yeah. I wish we could solve all your problems. That would be the most magical thing in the world, but we're not that magical
Yeah.
as much as I like to imagine that I am. But we definitely are going to be able to, so that you leave with something tangible, something that you're able to carry with you. You've got your pocket care,
Yeah, I love
something
it.
that you can think about later on. You can write it down and always just have that reminder on how you can calm yourself down. Maybe it is a quick breath work technique. Maybe it is a mantra, or maybe it is something meditation, whatever it is for you. It is going to be something valuable that's going to make you feel more you.
Mm-hmm.
There really is no other way to explain that, but really give you something back to you.
Mm. I think on that note, we could. This was good.
Yeah.
And
I'm
just,
so excited to
yeah,
be doing this with you, Leslie. And there's
I am
no one else in a
too.
million years I would have wanted to do this with. And I really, really hope that it works out that we can do it in person next year because
I
that would be
do
so
too.
much fun.
I'm ready to get flown out, like, and go into New Hampshire, wherever we're going, wherever I'm going. I'm here for it. I'm manifesting that next year. A lot of in-person things,
Yes.
and yeah, that's gonna be beautiful. But before we go, just make sure both of the tickets are in both of our bios. So you just
Yeah.
go in the bio, you can see it, share it with a friend. And Cathy will make sure she shares this live.
Yes.
Um, and that's it.
That's it. Y'all reach out if you have any questions. If you're wondering how this or that is going to work, what if this, what if that, reach out. There is zero harm in asking questions. We don't charge per question,
Yeah,
so ask
no.
away.
No, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Thanks, Leslie. We'll see you next time, and we'll definitely have to do this again, and hopefully it works out better.
Yeah, yeah. Alrighty, bye.
Bye.